Oregon Governor Kate Brown announced the withdrawal of federal law enforcement agents from Portland. Federal Border Control and Immigration agents deployed through the Department of Homeland Security were ordered in by the Trump administration against the protests that have continued in the city for over 60 days consecutively since the murder of George Floyd. The agents were often heavily armed and clad in unmarked military garb and were widely criticized for excessive force and indiscriminate detentions in unmarked cars. The brutality of the feds in Portland only had the opposite effect, as thousands took the streets to challenge them and protests grew across the country in solidarity with Portland. Federal agents were also withdrawn from Seattle. New Jersey lawmakers are expected to pass a bill that would free more than 3,000 prisoners, around 20% of the state's total incarcerated population. As the pandemic continues to ravage prisons, those who are within a year of completing their sentences in state prisons would be eligible for release, depending on credits given during their time served. This is the first bill of its kind in the U.S., and while excluding sex offenders, those sentenced for other violent crimes would be eligible. As we've reported on Breakthrough, it's nearly impossible to social distance in tightly packed facilities, nor is adequate health care being provided for those incarcerated. Donald Trump has floated the idea of postponing the election, and exactly that has already happened in Bolivia. Tens of thousands of Bolivians have protested this week against the postponement of general elections by de facto president and coup leader Jeanine An-yez. The Bolivian Workers' Union and the Unity Pact, an alliance of various indigenous and agricultural workers, are demanding that elections be held on September 6th and not on October 18th. The election was supposed to take place back in May, and this is the third time the election has been postponed. The right-wing An-yez government has responded by saying it will do whatever is necessary to maintain law and order. A study by UNICEF and environmental group Pure Earth found that an estimated 1 out of 3 children in the entire world have high levels of lead in their bloodstreams. These levels are enough to impair brain development, nervous systems, and vital organs such as the heart and lungs. The report cited a wide range of factors causing these high levels of lead, from inadequate recycling of lead-acid batteries, homes with peeling lead paint, lead-laced electronic waste dumps, and food contamination due to lead-glazed pottery. More than 95% of lead from batteries is recycled in the U.S. and Europe, but developing economies lack the resources and facilities needed to reuse the heavy metals. The report also stated that the longer the toxin goes undetected and remains untreated, the more dangerous and potentially lethal it becomes.